Hey guys, we are Renegades of Pop. I'm RJ.
I'm Andrea.
And before we get on to our first topic, be sure to subscribe, give us a thumbs up, click the little bell, that way you get updates on when we upload. Join us on the Facebook group. Follow us on Instagram. We're fun people.
Sometimes.
Anyways, guys, so topic number one, to continue with this spooky season, I want to talk about spooky video games. Jeez, I know. Anyways, no, but look, I want to talk about like horror video games and just that genre of games, because it's just something that I didn't get into until I was older. And really, I'm just going to start it off. The one that got me, actually started back into just video games in general. Alan Wake. Exclusively on the Xbox 360 at the time. Holy shit. It is like just a Stephen King novel, but as a video game. And it storytelling wise blew my mind. Like, it's even divided into 6 chapters. That's how it's actually in the game. And it is just so fucking good. And it uses you get a gun, but the gun doesn't really do anything. You can shoot them and then knock them back, but what actually kills them is light. And so you have a flashlight, and it does the whole battery thing. Mm-hmm. So it's so fucking stressful, especially if you don't have an inventory built up at the beginning. You don't, because you don't know what the fuck's going on. But it is so good, and I love the, it's noir-ish with the narrative, because it's literally Alan Wake talking over it. Mm-hmm. And it also kind of tackles mental health, because part of it, for a while there, you start thinking oh, this is all in his fucking head, and he's just doing this to cope with his reality of his girlfriend leaving him or something.
Sad.
Which is not the case. It's not the case. It turns out to be real. Spoiler alert. But holy shit, that game literally changed my life as far as gaming is concerned. I'm really passionate about Alan Wake. It's Remedy Games did such a fan-fucking-tastic job. Side note, Remedy Games also came out with the original Max Payne, in case you're wondering their pedigree. Oh. So they're very good with that noir. Never played that. Anyways, so that's one of my favorite horror genre video games of all time. Do you have one?
I enjoy playing a little BioShock.
Yeah.
I just love the aesthetic. I haven't played any of the DLCs or what is it, Infinite? Mm-hmm. Never played that one, but I had the first 2, and
tonally it's very, very different.
No, I've heard that, and I want to just finish the whole thing and just do the whole thing and do that, but I just never had the time. The Infinite actually might be a little more stressful for you now, because it really tackles race. Well,
it really tackles
race. It's gonna be triggering.
Yeah, I would argue it would be triggering, because it really does tackle race, because
there's no black people in it.
No, there is, but they're basically the reason why he comes up with the place in the sky is because after the Civil War, they're oh no, we're out, because we don't necessarily agree that the slaves are free.
Oh, well, that's fucked up. Well, see, then that might be a little bit something different for
but
me
no, it's because that's, and then you end up joining the rebellion to try to overthrow that government, and that's kind of what it is. But it does tackle race a lot.
I mean, well, that makes sense. There's no black people in BioShock, so I mean, I never put 2 and 2 together, just because that's just how most things are, how most things have always been. Not that it's right, but I mean, you get to a point where you don't think anything about it. Yeah. But, it was always, a fun game to play. I was always, scared as hell to play.
It's a very stressful game.
It can be, but it's
especially
also really...
at the beginning, the first time you run into, a fucking Big Daddy, you're Oh shit! How the fuck am I gonna do this?
Well, because you
And
have no
question for you.
defenses.
And question for you.
Okay.
Were you of the mindset of, oh, I'm gonna like suck the little sisters completely dry, or just take a little bit?
No, I always set them free. I always set them free.
Okay.
Because I figured the payoff for me setting them free will probably be better than me using them.
Yeah, no, there is a different ending.
No, I figured. I mean, I knew there'd be multiple endings for whatever decision you decided. That's redundant.
Whatever decision
choice
you made.
whatever choice I made, there would be a different outcome.
Yeah.
And so I chose to do the right thing first, just because that's who I am.
That's just who I am.
That's who I is. Another mention, I've never played this game, but I always would watch my brother play Silent Hill, like the Silent Hill games.
That's a classic.
And that was always really I enjoy watching from afar. And there used to be this Facebook channel, these two dudes who used to play through horror games. I think they did the Evil Within and what's the other one? What's the one with the journalist guy? Outlast. And I watched them go because they would just have witty commentary while they were playing the games. One of the friends would be playing it, and I enjoy watching it because I don't have the discipline to sit and play a game for hours. I get really bored easily. So if I hit a puzzle that I can't get through or whatever, I'm just fuck it. I have to be really I'm surprised I played BioShock for as long as I did. Because I get bored really easily, and that's why me in video games unless it's a fighter or something or a side scroller that's not true. I take that back. Even side scrollers I get bored really easily.
Well, those tend to be repetitive. Just shout out real quick. I'm a huge fan of BioShock, and I'm gonna shoehorn this in. For those of you who don't know, this is a guitar pedal. It's an effect pedal built by my buddy and co-host from my other podcast, Just Surprise Me. Joe from Like My Pedals. Can't really see it. Let's see if it focuses. There we go. It's a BioShock art. I'll just probably end up putting an overlay. But fucking really, really like that series. I actually prefer Infinite because I like the game mechanics of the you get to loop around on that thing and zoom around. It's fucking cool. I have another. Even though it's not as it's not as horror. Yeah. Because basically the difference is you arrive there. I forget the name of the city. It's not Rapture. It's a different thing. Isn't it Columbia or something? Yeah, New Columbia or something like that. And you arrive there and everything's fine. You arrive there and nothing it's while you're there shit starts going awry and people are starting to rebel and things like that.
I have another honorable mentions. Castlevania. What's the one I played? Symphony of the Night. Fun game. Got bored.
Is it though?
Is it though? Oh my
god! I strongly remember being on FaceTime with you and you just getting so fucking pissed off because you couldn't move on to the next thing because you either kept dying or you didn't know where to fucking go.
Well, no, because it's I had to keep going back and forth places. And
that's the point of a Metrovania game. It literally is the point.
You know
that is the game mechanic itself.
That's what I'm saying. I enjoy games to a point where I'm okay, I'm not gonna go back and forth. I'm not going back and forth with you. You know what I mean? And it just gets to a point where I'm just I don't have the time to deal with this bullshit. So I am going to move on. You know what I mean? And I'd rather watch somebody play video games than me actually do it. I find it more interesting to just watch people play games.
So I will say, I think the horror genre specifically lends to watching people game a lot better than most other games.
Well, because I feel they're more cinematic than most games.
Well, yeah, they rely heavily on the narrative, and it's still suspenseful because you're watching somebody make terrible decisions, just like in a horror movie, watching somebody making terrible decisions. I never played it myself. I never felt the need, but I would watch everybody's fucking playthrough of PT when that shit was live. Holy, oh my god! Talk about what that game would have been.
I mean, it could have been really fun, and we'll never know.
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
Yeah, no.
You got that other game. What is it called with the babies, the floating babies? Like,
I forget now.
I don't even know.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Kojima, like, I'm sorry. Some shit I don't get by you. Like, I've never been a Metal Gear fan either, so like I don't give a fuck. But no, his take on Silent Hill could have been really good. Really good. Yeah. Let's talk about another game that's often compared to Silent Hill, even though I think it came out. I know it came out before, but Resident Evil. Did you
People compare those?
Yeah, like when you think of like late 90s, like PlayStation 1 horror games, you got Silent Hill and you got fucking Resident Evil.
Oh.
Those are the franchises of that generation.
I guess like I always enjoyed watching Resident Evil 2, like the game, but like I also feel like watching Silent Hill was a lot more fun. But because like Resident Evil always made me like hella nervous, like because the gameplay, I don't like how like
the tank controls.
Yeah, I don't like that. Like because like the same reason why I couldn't get into Final Fantasy. Like I just like I hate that. Like I don't like it. Like I don't like that kind of like, oh, you pick this thing and then like
Well, Resident Evil's not really like that. It's just clumsy.
I guess
because they were still trying to figure out how to do 3D controls. Like that's the biggest thing.
And like I don't know.
That's why I think the most palatable and arguably a lot of people's favorite for that reason is Resident Evil 4, because that's when it started becoming more of a modern shooter.
Yeah.
And shout out to that game, because as I've stated on this podcast before, Resident Evil 4 is why I got a GameCube. It's fucking great.
I would have never believed that. Like, I would have never bought a GameCube thinking I could play a Resident Evil game.
That's how they marketed.
That's crazy.
How they marketed it at the time.
I never knew, like, I didn't know, like, I mean, playing a GameCube, I always, like, Star Fox, like, the normal, like, Nintendo games or whatever, like,
Yeah.
But, yeah. I did try playing Resident Evil 4, and it was a lot easier for me to kind of get into, because it was easier to play.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like, yeah.
Yeah. So, real quick, not a horror game. However, it is dark, and it is actually pretty dark for Nintendo. Zelda Majora's Mask. That's a dark-ass game.
Is it?
Yeah, so, like, here's the premise. The premise is you have 24 hours to save the world from the moon crashing into Hyrule.
I just know that game because everybody gets
the
little mask tattooed on them.
Yeah, and it repeats, but it's a very stressful game if you don't know what to do because you're on borrowed time. And the reason why they did that, it was like a game design because they had to come up. Basically, it was like a glorified expansion. They just took the assets from what was the previous game? Just the Zelda. I think it's Twilight Princess. Nah, I don't know. I don't know my Zeldas all too well. But anyways, point being is, yeah, they put that game loop in there to make it so they didn't have to like do this huge story. They just, because they had a certain deadline to come out with the sequel.
Yeah.
But it worked out very well, and it's what adds to the suspense of that.
You know what they say, kids. Laziness will get you somewhere.
Laziness. Well, it's not laziness. It's more like, oh, we got this hit game, and Nintendo's like, come out with another one like now.
So it's like more procrastination, I guess?
No, it's not procrastination. It's more of like, hey, sometimes deadlines can stoke creativity, even though like you shouldn't do that. Like you shouldn't like grind.
I don't think I could create that way.
No, yeah, it is. But that's why they had that time to finish that game, and so that's the game loop that they came up with to fucking to meet that deadline of releasing the game. Anyways, I'm gonna talk about some from like the 360 era that you may not be familiar with. You might be familiar with as far as like the name of the game, but you probably haven't played them. Because I'm a huge fan of sci-fi. And this is totally horror. Fucking Dead Space. 1 and 2.
See, I thought you were going to bring up Half-Life.
Shit. Holy shit. Dead Space is fucking great. That is a terrifying, very stressful game. Third one's more like an action game, so like it's not as bad. but the first two are fucking terrifying.
Yeah, I remember you telling me to play those, and I just
because like it would be, honest to goodness, it would be right up your alley as far as like the
gameplay.
The gameplay. Well, the gameplay is pretty good. It's your classic modern shooter, but it's just the barrage of enemies that like you got to be intentional with every shot that you make, because like you can't just like headshot and they're down. They're like, no, they'll still keep going. So like the best thing they do is like on certain ones is like to take out the limbs, or else they'll fucking keep coming after you. They'll just adjust on like 2 limbs and come after you instead of the 4 that they're on. So like you have to like be intentional with what you like shoot at.
Yeah.
Very good. Pretty good story. Like it's honestly the closest thing to like Event Horizon, but the video game. Like it really is.
All
and
right.
I think you'd really like it. Let's see. I tried playing The Evil Within. I couldn't get into it.
Okay. I mean, it looked like, for me watching it, I don't think I could have gotten into it either. Like, I could watch it, but I'm like, this looks hella dumb. Like,
Yeah,
it's
more
interesting,
cheese.
but like hella dumb. But like, I really want to play Outlast. Like, it looks super stressful and super hard.
Yeah.
And like, it just looks like a fun time. Like, it looks like a really fun time.
Let's wind it back. I have not played this game, even though it was critically praised, and I just never got around to it because we didn't really own the console that could play it at the time in the house. The new Resident Evil 7,
like the new one that came out.
The new one that's like takes place in like the South, like it takes place in like Louisiana, like that. And trying to play that in PlayStation VR, which you can, because remember that was
I
one
don't
of the games.
remember
Like,
what people
holy
had to
shit.
say about that.
It was really good. It's got great reviews.
Was it well liked?
Very, very.
Anyway, if you guys have any recommendations,
Leave
leave them in the
down
comments.
below.
Like,
because hashtag, she doesn't know this, but we're gonna get some consoles up in this mother trucker.
do you know how many consoles we've been through? Like, bought and sold or traded
Okay,
or whatever.
Well, it's because
like,
I like music gear too, but no, like. The new generation's coming out. I know you're a PlayStation girl, but they're coming, and you may not know this, but they're coming out with the Xbox Series S, and it's like gonna play all the new games, but it's like the price of a Nintendo Switch. So it's very affordable.
all right.
So, and they have a Game Pass to where you just get access to hundreds and hundreds of games. Anyways, that's beside the point. What's another, like... Do you have any other any other games that, like, I'm sure there's a ton and everyone's screaming at us. But do you have any, like, other ones that you haven't played but you would like to play?
That ones that we haven't mentioned, not at all.
Really?
Not any horror ones. Like, I feel like the mainstream ones I've wanted to play or have any interest in, we've named.
Oh, I do want to get, like, it's probably not good anymore. But the idea of that Friday the 13th game, I don't know if you ever saw that. It was pretty interesting. It's like, it's a multiplayer game, and either you're Jason or you're
A camper,
and you have to like.
was that ever released?
Yes, it was. And so like either you have to track these people down and like kill them, or you have to like try to escape from him.
I felt like it'd be more fun to kill people,
but it'd be more stressful to be the victim, potential victim.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, most of us are usually.
Oh man, hold on.
Oh Lord.
I'm using my phone to record.
Here.
Let me see your phone. I gotta remember it's a PlayStation exclusive. It's got a fucking killer clown in it, but it was like on the campground. And it was like a choose your own adventure kind of thing. So you would choose the decisions for them. Hold on, guys. And they came out with this shitty like PSVR. Until Dawn. Until Dawn is like supposed to be really, really good.
I think I've heard of that. That's the one where you have to last until the daylight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're like in the woods. I don't know if it had anything to do with a clown, did it?
Yeah, no, like the PSVR one.
I've heard that game is pretty fun.
Until Dawn, yeah.
I've heard
the spin-off, the PSVR does have to do with clowns. It's fucking stupid. Don't play that. Also, this actually just came up and made me think of another one. And you haven't played this, but it's really good. Fucking Alien Isolation. Holy shit. That is a stressful, fucking great game. Goes on for a little bit too long. I feel like because it's like a 20-hour game, I feel like if it was like half that, it would be better because there's a little bit too much filler. Mm-hmm. But oh my God. Like you're hiding in like lockers trying not to get caught by this thing. And like you have like a breath meter and like it's pretty intelligent to where like it can find you. It's fucking good. Alien Isolation. Basically, you're just trying to get away from the fucking xenomorph.
I mean, I've heard of that one too. I've heard that's a pretty good game, but like I said, I can stay. My attention span will stay for so long. I can't believe I played BioShock as long as I did.
Fair enough. I'm just like seeing what else they have here. Oh yeah, see, that's what I was thinking. Until Dawn, Rush of Blood, it does have a fucking clown. That's what I was getting confused with. Anyways, fuck that game. Resident Evil Revelations, another good Resident Evil game if you like the original games. Amnesia, fucking good. That's another good one. And then there's this other game that I'm trying to think of. It's probably not going to come up and I won't fucking remember. Anyways, that being said, I don't want to fucking go on too long here. Sorry, guys. Got a little distracted. Yeah. Again, leave us your favorite horror games down below. Make some suggestions and let us know. You know, I wouldn't be opposed to playing a few. Hell, if you want to see us play on camera, you let us know. If you know you want to see us stream.
Oh my God. And I'm sure it would be like hella funny because like I'm just like I would probably be freaking out the whole time.
She's a drama queen.
To a degree.
I mean I'm probably worse. But hey.